How's it going, guys? XSR Detroit here. This is episode 2 of the Winter Mod series. In the last episode, we took a look at the 7-inch headlight and these turn signals from TST Industries. Today we're focusing mostly on Teardown. I have a lot of parts that I need to send out for powder coating, so we got a lot of stuff to take off the bike. Some big stuff, some little stuff. But the major thing is we got to get this tank off so we can start working on the tail section. I want to get the whole tail frame powder coated, so there's quite a bit of work to do there. And then we have some smaller parts that'll also be getting some powder coat love. So today's episode, we're getting right into it, so let's go grab some tools. Now you guys don't have to remove this. I'm just removing it to make it easier to show you what we're going to be looking at on the side of the tank here. It's a bit difficult to see, but we have these two vapor lines we need to disconnect from the tank. On the other side, we have the fuel connector itself for the tank. I got a pick here that I'm going to use. Always be careful when you're messing with the stuff. This stuff is super delicate. Really easy to break. There we go. Pry on it too much, and that comes off. A little bit of fuel. Then it's a little easier to get to our electrical connector that's there. Get this out of the way. There we go. So in the back of the gas tank, we have this fastener here. It's a 12 millimeter. At the front of the tank, we have these 4 millimeter fasteners. Now the tank is completely ready to come off. I left these vapor lines on because I didn't have a ton of room to work with them. So now that I have the tank loose, I think that'll give me a little more space to take them off, but remember to remove them before you pull the tank off. Next up is these radiator side covers. Pop these off. The fastener is a 4 mil. Even if you have the stock headlight, this is going to be the same process. We're going to remove the fasteners on the side of the housing of the headlight. And then once we have the bulb or projector or whatever you're running out, you can remove these bolts and the headlight will come right out. To remove the front fender, we're going to start by disconnecting these trim pieces so the brake lines will come loose. Let's grab the other side real quick. Pop that loose. Nice. Got these mounting fasteners right down here. These are 5 mil. With the fuel tank removed, we're going to remove this bracket. These fasteners are 4 millimeter. Now, we have this electrical connector in the back. Just lift, that comes right off. We're going to move on to removing the battery at this point. I'm going to start by disconnecting the negative terminal. So we have a little more space to grab the pull down that's holding the battery in place. But right here we have that rubber portion. Now the battery, we have to disconnect the positive terminal. At this point, we're going to remove the rear fender from the tail frame. In the last episode, we kind of went over this. It's pretty easy. We have our turn signal wiring, our tail light wiring, of course, that needs to be disconnected. And then we have these 10mm nuts. Once those are off, we're good to go, and the fender's ready to come off. Got some push pins to pop up top. And we have some push pins on the bottom to remove as well. With the push pins removed, we're going to move on to the side trim pieces. This is an 8mm bolt. At this point, I'm going to start moving the wiring forward. We have two big connectors on the bottom here. We're going to have to grab this. We're going to have to hit with the trim tool, pop that up, get all of these popped out of their little things here. Not too bad. Looks like we're going to use a pick for this one. And then once we got this all worked up and worked towards the ABS module, we'll get a better look at what we're dealing with as far as getting this plastic basket out of the tail frame. Grab a pick for that one, slide that up. So we have two 10mm fasteners that are kind of buried right behind the ABS module here that we'll have to loosen up and remove. Next up, we're going to remove the brake reservoir for the rear brakes. Removing the passenger peg brackets is pretty easy. It's a 6mm Allen fastener. Next up, we have these tamper-proof Torx fasteners. These are a T50. We got two on each side. At this point, the tail frame is ready to come off the bike. The last thing we're going to remove today is the ECU for the bike. I'm sending this off to V-Cycle Nut to be re-flashed. So removing this is very easy. We have these plastic parts up top. That's it for today's episode. Bike is pretty much torn down as far as I'm going to take it down. I do plan on getting some new tires closer to the spring, but for now, it's got to sit for a minute. The parts are going to go to Powdercoat. I have to ship the ECU out, and I should have an exhaust coming soon. And I'll do a full video on like a stage 1 install with the tuned ECU, the exhaust install, do like an air cleaner. But until then, until we get the parts back from Powdercoat, the bike's just gonna chill for a while. As always, thank you for checking out the video. Please subscribe if you like what I do, or throw me a like, you know, all that YouTube bullshit. And it's gonna be a while until the next episode, but in the next episode, we're gonna be doing a lot of rebuilding, putting, you know, the tail frame back on. I have an engine guard from Geevy. We're gonna do a full install on that. Lots of fun stuff coming up for the XSR. So please stay tuned. Thanks for checking out the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and I haven't said my slogan in a while. Ride fast, ride naked, and wear your helmet. Thanks, guys.